my goals and aspirations is to be on this stage talking to people like you and talking to people like them. And I'm not even saying that like that's 100% true because some of these people could be your best friends later.
Amen to that.
What is going on, everybody? I chose that clip for a reason because the only reason I know John and Liz is from doing podcasting. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good.
I'm doing well. I like that shirt that you had on in that clip.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Autumn bought that for me. It's my Santa Claus shirt. I'm going to have a whole wardrobe for the next one because I wore that shirt all weekend. I just took it off when I wasn't doing stuff.
Did you yet carry a little bottle of Febreze just to spray it real quick before you put it back on?
I mean, I had cologne and deodorant, John.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a monster.
Well, that
and
remains...
I showered.
Oh, okay. There you go. I was going to say that remains to be seen. Did you shower? And you beat me to it. Okay, so you did at least take a shower.
I did. I am so glad to be here talking to y'all. Liz got me watching Poker Face. I'm watching it very slowly, not from any other choice, but there's so much other stuff happening with television, and I am digging it.
It's so good. I finally just finished season 2 myself.
Oh, did you? Nice. I just watched the episode with Harold from Harold and Kumar in it.
Okay.
Well, I guess we have a quick hello. Justin, can you throw that one up there? Hey, now it is Daniel Snow. Daniel, how you doing, man? Glad that you're checking out the episode. And so, Jason, Poker Face, you've already jumped right into it as to what you're watching. Anything else that you have been watching that you'd like to talk about?
I have been, well, since the Hallmark show, I've been trying to keep up on my reviews since I picked up a bunch of followers on Instagram. So I've been regularly reviewing Hallmark movies over there. So I've been watching quite a bit of those. And I'm watching everything. King of the Hill is really, really good. Like really, really good. Dexter has been really, really good. There's a lot of really good stuff happening right now in television. I'm trying to watch it all.
I am the opposite. I am watching nothing. It's opera season here. So we have Glimmerglass Opera. So I've been going to a lot more live shows than watching TV. But we did watch Department Q on Netflix, and that was actually really good. I liked that a lot.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
It's one of those. It's based on a book. It's one of those like Nordic noir, Stieg Larsson kind of things. But it's a good cast, good characters, good mystery. I did solve it, but only like 20 minutes before they did. So it was a solid show.
When you say that you're in opera season, so is it just all operas, or is it operas and musicals, or?
So Glimmerglass does their summer festival, and it's 4 shows. They do typically 3 operas and like a crowd-pleasing musical.
Okay.
So this year it's Sunday in the Park with George is the musical, and then they're doing a couple of big operas and a couple of lesser-known operas.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Do I dare say the hot take? I guess I will. I finished Andor, and I did not like it. I don't know. I don't know why I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't like Andor, but I don't get it. I watched season 2. I thought it was worse than season 1.
That's that old man in you, John.
It probably is. It probably is.
Star Wars.
Is this what the kids are watching? The Star Trek Wars, or the Wars Trek Stars, or so yeah, that I finished. I will plug it here, and I know it's going to sound funny, but I was clued into a very funny movie that came out in 2022. Anyways, it is streaming on Tubi now. It is a silent film called Hundreds of Beavers. Now, allow me to give you the plot. It takes place in the 1800s, and it's about a gentleman that wants to marry a daughter of a merchant, but the merchant says, you have to go get me 100 beaver pelts. And so the whole film is, and it's done in a very stylistic kind of Charlie Chaplin silent film style. It's really well done. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. So if you got a few, my only gripe maybe could have been 20 minutes shorter. It's almost 2 hours, and I'm like, for this type of comedy, 90 minutes would have been great. But I highly recommend it.
Nice. I will check it out. I do like Charlie Chaplin silent films.
Yeah, it's very well done. Like, I won't spoil one of the funnier parts of it, but we'll just say when it comes to the animals, they take a unique spin on how they represent the bunnies and the squirrels and the beavers and the wolves and whatnot. So, yeah, Google the trailer if you're interested.
Have we talked about this? That Jamie Lee Curtis is playing Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote?
We have not.
I'm excited.
I think that's great casting. Is it a movie or a TV series? I hope it's a TV series.
I think it's a movie.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's a movie or TV. I didn't read to see.
I think she's right. I think it is a movie, but that'd be fascinating if she did it as a series after the movie.
But is it a theatrical movie or is it like a made-for-TV movie?
Probably theatrical. She's on a rise right now.
Yeah. So, all right. Are we ready to talk about this episode of Matlock, folks?
We are, because apparently I missed a huge plot point in this.
Yes, you did. So a couple of things here real quick. First of all, the episode that we're going to be doing is a little bit different. And for those folks that have been with us since day one or joined us more recently, we try to keep the show rated PG. And we do that by, kind of being a little bit more coy when we're talking about certain subjects or not cursing or whatnot. There are some topics for this episode of Matlock that we're going to try our best to keep PG, but no guarantees. So the bottom line is we're not trying to offend anybody. We're not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. But this is what the subject matter is for the episode. And so with that, the episode that we're looking at is The Assassination. It originally aired on May 8th, 1992. It is one of those longer extended episodes. It was like a 90-minute, so I'm assuming that they showed it broadcast-wise as a made-for-TV film. It is also going to be the first time that we're introduced to Leanne McIntyre, aka.
I got a question. I hate to cut you off, but
Sure.
This is the final season before they moved networks, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Because this felt like a series finale. Just in the first, I know we haven't even gotten into it, but I just don't want to forget saying it because like everybody was in the beginning of this episode. Except for obviously like Kenny Holiday and Linda Pearl, but
right. Jason, you are a little bit frozen. You know that, right?
Yeah, my camera's black.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. Well, as long as we get your audio, that's all that we'll admire your handsome face as we finish this episode. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of there.
Kind of. Anyways, so this is the first time that we're introduced to Leanne McIntyre, the daughter of Matlock. And so let's jump on into it with talking about a few guest stars. The first guest star is Michael Bowen, I believe it's pronounced. And he plays the role of Jay Reynolds. You may also know him as Buck in Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. Rick Spector in the movie Magnolia. Morton in The Last House on the Left. Now, that's the 2009 version, not the original version from the 70s. Mark Dargis in Jackie Brown. Vin in Animal Kingdom. Harry in The House by the Lake. Uncle Jack in Breaking Bad. Tracker in Django Unchained. And Macklin on the Kung Fu, The Legend Returns, or The Legend Continues, excuse me, and 100 other credits to his name. I got to ask about the horror connection real quick to my man. That's the horror expert, Jason. Thoughts on House by the Lake and The Last House on the Left, the 2009 version?
I have not seen Last House on the Left. I've heard it's so. I Spit on Your Grave. I saw the remake of that, and that movie like just destroyed. Like, oh my god, I can never watch that movie again. And I've heard Last House on the Left is worse, and I have not seen it. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know if I can sit through that again.
Okay,
Liz, rough.
Liz, are you familiar with those two films, or?
I'm not.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to talking about our next guest, Marta Dubois, who plays the role of Ava Brodsky. You may also know her as playing Michelle Hune on Magnum P.I., the original series, not the newest one. Princess Koji on the Tales of the Golden Monkey. She played Bobby Candina, on the A-Team. She was Sergeant Roberta Hanson on all the McBride TV movies. And I think that, McBride was, I think it was ABC, but they did it was a cop show, but they did all these throughout the 80s, made for TV movies. And she was actually already in an episode of Matlock. That's right. Marta was in season 2, episode 19, The Lovelorn, and she played Carol Weston, who was, if you recall correctly, the advice columnist that was giving out all the advice, and she ended up dead because she maybe gave the wrong advice to somebody. And there you go. So Marta making a return to the set of Matlock. Liz, Jason, any questions or comments on Miss Marta?
I don't have any. She was on an episode of Even Stevens.
That was a Nickelodeon show, wasn't it?
I think I just watched Holes for the first time, so that's what made me think of that.
But Even Stevens is a Nickelodeon show, wasn't it?
Disney? It was a Disney?
It was Disney. It was Disney. We have a couple of comments, so let's bring them on up. Justin, if you will, please. Still treading along on Oz. Seeing Bill Fingerbake, Duber from Coach, and Patrick Starr play a white supremacist CEO is quite disturbing and yet humorous, hearing that voice be so evil. You know, I never got into Oz. There's no reason why. I never got into it. And I've seen the Little House on the Left, is what I was going to say. That's combining two completely opposite.
You go into that expecting Little House on the Prairie, you're going to cry.
Oh, Michael Landon's rolling over in his grave as we talk. Anyways, Last House on the Left, and it is one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. All right, well, thank you, Daniel.
Stairway to Heaven talk coming soon, everybody.
All right, our last guest is Wayne Grace. He's playing the role of Dwight Hutchinson. You may also know him as Bob Booker in Mulholland Drive. Yay, one of my favorite Lynch films. Anyways, he was Bjork in Far and Away, Officer Jameson on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I'm creating all kinds of media, aren't I? Friday night the 13th, and Little House on the Left. I mean, I'm just creating all kinds of greatness. I think somebody ought to sign me up to be a writer, a showrunner. Anyways, Officer Jameson on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Cyrus Gilson in Fire on the Sky. A lot of Star Wars voiceovers for video games. He was also security officer number 1 in the original Running Man. He was Officer Dooley in Scanner Cop. And he has a lot of many one and dones for shows like Beretta, Hunter, Night Court, Hill Street Blues, etc., etc. All right, Jason, got to ask you, what's your thoughts on Friday the 13th, the final chapter?
That's the one with Corey. I like that one, Corey Feldman.
I don't know. You're the expert.
I do.
Okay.
Part 4. One with Corey Feldman. I like that one. But John, I'm disappointed. You forgot Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones is one of the few actors from Lois and Clark: New Adventures of Superman that I want to talk about in 2025. And he was also in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, Tales from the Dark Side, and Cheers. So Cheers.
Oh.
I liked him as an actor. He played Jonathan
All right.
Kent.
And
Well,
I thought you were going to bring up Rene Auberjonois because he's in everything. But as a little girl from the early 90s, I know him best as the voice of the chef in The Little Mermaid.
you know what?
Very nice. Yeah, John is bad at this. Like, he forgets people all the time. We just have to remind him. We've gotten an email about that in the past. Like, I don't know.
we did.
And I try my best. He was also a voice of Pound Puppies, Liz. Yeah, John,
He
you missed
did a ton of
this.
voiceover in everything from like King Kong to MASH to Warehouse 13. He was all over the place.
All right. Truth be told, I was afraid that I would butcher Renee's last name, so
That's fair.
I was like, I'm going to look at some of these other folks to see if they have more credits because I don't want to touch Renee's name, even though I should be probably somewhat able to pronounce it, being a giant hockey fan. But anyways.
Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. He was in Boston Legal. Oh my god, I love Boston Legal. Yeah, this guy. I can't believe, John. Wow.
No. What can I say? Anyways, with that, I have to ask you two a very, very important question. Are you ready to give your opinion, solely your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
Yes.
I do. Just testify. Woo! Thank you, Justin.
Thanks,
Shout
Justin.
out
Because
to Flower Girl, Darcy, and Shan watching us on Instagram.
anyways, I'm ready to testify too, even though I didn't get a chance to join the party, so to speak.
Wow.
But anyways, okay, the plot of this episode. Ben believes there's a connection between one of his clients, the killing of Atlanta's mayor, and some shady filmmaking, we'll say. Okay? Opening scene is pretty much just like various different angles of a gun, which I thought was kind of, I don't know, they usually do up the opening scenes a little bit with quite a few different types of shots and whatnot, so I was a little disappointed there. However, I think Justin will be happy that our director of photography for this episode is the returning Jigs Garcia. Oh, good old Jigs.
I want to start calling Justin Jigs. I think I've said that before, but I'm saying it again.
Well, he said it's a dope name, so.
Yeah, see? Justin Jigs, Justin, Jiggy Justin, got it. Oh, it's going to be great.
Anyways, the mayor is on the phone. He's in his office, and he's on his phone, and he's talking, and in comes his secretary, and he hangs up the phone, and the secretary says, "You got to meet with this guy, and this guy." So the mayor goes, "All right, fine." He is a very busy man. So sadly, two of those was not Big Boy or Andre 3000. I was hoping it would be, being Atlanta and whatnot. Anywho, so the odd part, and you're going to see this throughout the episode, is that there are gentlemen in a van who are listening to what's going on in various different places, like in this case, the mayor's office. So they're listening. And so a guy who we later find out his name is Dave, I believe. Dave talks to the mayor as he met him at this outdoor cafe, and they were talking. And in the meantime, what we see an assassin on the roof taking his bag of groceries and pulling out a rifle and assembling it on the rooftop. Now, I don't know about you two, but I scoffed quite a bit at this idea that a paper bag is what you're going to carry your assault rifle in, your sniper rifle, your precision bringer of death. You're going to put it in a brown bag. Like,
Mine might be like a plastic CVS or a Dollar General bag, but yeah, why wouldn't you?
well, I hope that if you put it in your CVS bag, that you also have your mile-long, receipts showing everything you purchased and everything you can get coupons on.
Gotta save the coupons.
Yeah, you got to.
2025, man.
Liz, your thoughts?
I thought it was meant to be like a bag of groceries, and I got really distracted by the paper towels because they were just open, like somebody used a few and then put them back in the bag.
I mean, you got to be sanitary.
Yeah, I I can't fault you on that, Liz. That is something that is very weird. Well, anyways, lo and behold, before you know it, the mayor of Atlanta is assassinated. But we get before that a quick scene where these tourists are using their wonderful 1987 style VHS video camera, top of the line. I believe it was a Sony, but anywho, and they're taking all kinds of videos around this little plaza, including one of the mayor, because the wife is so impressed that, oh my, there's the mayor. So eventually, though, we all know where this goes, and that is where, of course, the mayor and the guy he's talking to are both gunned down, causing chaos to ensue. The assassin, Jay, is leaving, and he has his bag of groceries, but another person runs into him. He drops the bag, and what do you know? There's the gun. All right, and the cops arrest Jay, the assassin, and all of this is caught on tape. So, all right. In a moment here, we have a couple of comments from Dan, who's watching here. Oh, Renee also popped up in Batman Forever in one scene. Oh, okay.
Very nice.
We're going to go back to this. If he was carrying his gun in a proper case, probably would not have gotten caught. That's all Jason has to say.
Plastic bag. Or hide it in the paper towels.
That's what it was for.
Unroll all the paper towels, and he could just carry all the paper towels. Yeah, absolutely.
Or wrap your receipt around it. Camouflage, Phil.
All I can think of is, what if you had your gun, your sniper rifle, disassembled, and you're going through Costco? And, oh, excuse me, I have to see your receipt, please. What's that? Yeah.
One second. I have it wrapped around my gun.
There you go.
At least nobody touched the body.
Yes. Now, this next scene, I was a little bit confused at first. It made sense to me later, but there's a meeting of a commission to find out who killed the mayor. And so this takes place a few, I guess you could say, weeks or months later. It happens later in the timeline. All right. Which I'm going to talk about this timeline. There's some things I have some issues with. But nonetheless, everybody in the commission says, all right, look, Jay Reynolds did it. But one guy, Judge Arthur Eller. Eller thinks that he's got some wacky conspiracy. Like, well, if he was going to kill somebody, why would he kill them in the broad daylight? Why would he blah, blah, blah? All right. And so the other members are like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. No idea. So we get to a scene where Ben is in the courtroom. He's in front of Judge Eller, defending his client. And he gets angry. And we all love angry Ben here. But he gets very angry at a judge's decision. And so Ben is held in contempt of court. Thought?
What a way to start an episode.
Here's my question, and it came up a second time. I don't know this. I don't know the law very well. Can't you get bailed out of contempt? Because isn't it just another charge?
I don't know. Let's go to our legal expert, Liz.
I have no idea. That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless it's specifically, like, the only thing I could think of this morning when I was watching this is maybe contempt of court is only for lawyers, in that that's their kind of, like, you can't screw around, like, that's their punishment. So, but other than that, I'm like, why didn't somebody bail Ben out? Like,
maybe they want him to stay in there.
What?
He's also so cheap that he'd probably be like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. I'll spend 3 days in jail with this guy that murdered 3 people. Yeah.
His daughter didn't seem in a rush to get him out of there.
No, she did not. Absolutely not. But before we get to that, hey, let's go to the judge's house, Judge Eller. And Judge Eller is kissing a woman that we don't know who it is, but later will be revealed to be Ava Brodsky. There's a knock at the front door. And the cops are there, and they say, Mr. Eller, Judge, we have a warrant for your arrest. And he said, what for? We have a warrant for your arrest for sexual assault. So then we go to a scene where Ben is in jail, and lo and behold, here comes Leanne. And at this point, some random notes about the dialogue that they had. Leanne is married. She's married to her husband that's a lawyer up in Philadelphia. She's living in Philadelphia as well. They kind of reconnect a little bit. She doesn't bail him out or even goes to see if she could bail her dad out. Anyways, but yet claims that a lot of people know her at the courthouse from her days as a prosecutor. So I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. And so basically they're going to have breakfast tomorrow.
So this is a different daughter. So Leanne and Charlene are he wasn't very creative in naming his children.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Liz, did you have a comment?
My only note for the scene was that the dialogue is kind of awkward and she calls him dad like a million times. And I wanted to know if that was so we forget that she was trying to seduce him as a different character like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about later in the episode when I was taking notes, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that really weird and icky episode where Bryn Thayer was the gold digger.
I mean, I say dad every 2 seconds. I talk to my father.
Really?
Yeah. Hi, Dad.
Okay.
How, Dad, are you, Dad?
Okay. Did you you don't? Okay. Did you have a nickname for Dad? Did you call him Pops?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I called him Dad.
Okay. Liz?
No, I don't have a dad, so I'm out of my depth here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I got Dad because my father would not tolerate that Pops silliness. That was like, no, you're calling me Dad. So, anyways, all right. Let's hear from Dan as he's got a comment here real quickly. So, Justin, if you could bring that up, please. Contempt of court is a magistrate charge, so you could easily be bailed out. In fact, depending on the judge, you might even be let out on your own recognizance. Well, thank you. See, I thought.
Now, Ben's friend just left him in there. They needed a break.
Do
The
you
hot
think
dog
maybe,
guy was out of hot dogs. Like, he just needed to be in there for a day. Let the world around him reset.
well, you know what? I would have loved the scene like 3 days later, and Michelle's like, "Where is Ben? Conrad, have you seen Ben? Where is he?" Anyways, let's get back on track here because, Conrad's going to show up in the next scene. Conrad, Ace, Michelle, Julie, they're all at Ben's house to welcome him home from the clink and also to meet Leanne. And I wrote down, somebody has a key to this house, right? Oh, no, I forgot. No one locks their doors, as that will actually be pointed out later in the episode that no one locks their doors.
John, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Atlanta is the safest spot in the United States of America, and there is no reason to lock your doors.
Sure.
I mean, unless you're living next to Ace Calhoun. That's probably the most unrealistic thing ever. Because he is in this episode because everybody's in this episode.
Everybody. So here we go with a little bit of social commentary, if you will, for the episode. There's a lot of shame kind of thrown on Leanne because everybody wants to know, oh, you're married. Oh, do you have any kids? No. Oh, it's a shame. You should have some kids. And it goes on and on and on. And I don't know how to take this concept. I guess maybe in 92 this would have maybe been something that happened, but it's still kind of repulsive. Liz, what do you say?
No, I hated it. And I hated that they gave that line to Julie because I don't think she would say it. And she's the last person who should. They're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, agreed. I never thought of it.
Hidden somewhere.
What'd you say, Jason?
Julie might have a child hidden somewhere.
That's true. As far as we know, she's childless.
I mean,
right.
I was gonna say, like, people that have kids are always trying to bring more people into the cult, but you're right. Julie saying it is weird.
Yeah, and I never thought about it, Liz, but you're right. She basically does not. She lives in a glass house. She should not be throwing stones.
Yeah, I wish this wasn't the last episode with her for a while. She comes back in season 9, but And I wish this was a show that had character development, because I think exploring the relationship between Julie and Leanne would have been really interesting, because they are similar in a lot of ways.
You're right.
I'm-
And there
Go
are
ahead,
some
Jason.
things in this episode that I thought were done really, really well, and I think they would have been done a little bit better had it been like Linda Pearl's character returning. But we can get more into that in a little bit.
Look, I have to say right now, I think there is a lack of character development in this episode because, and I'm going to say it early because this is one of my gripes, there's like going to be people that are listening or watching. There's going to be like 3 separate storylines in this episode that don't make sense and they don't connect. They make them connect, but not really. So it's aggravating. Dan, we have a comment from him. Could we bring that up there, Justin, if you don't mind? Les was supposed to bail him out, but he spent the lady on the, on the ladies.
I mean, that is facts. That is facts. But I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say. I had a whole thing, and then I'm like, I got to play this picture now. It fits, and then I totally lost it. Thank you again, Justin, for that wonderful photo.
Yes, you worked very hard on that picture. Mwah, chef's kiss. Michelle and Conrad, they dropped the dime on the judge to Ben. They go, hey, did you hear what happened to Eller? Oh, I don't care because he should have. Says grumpy Ben. He got picked up for assault. So then we cut to a scene.
Sorry, John. I do remember what I was going to say. That's the general problem with shows like this from this time, is the lack of character development, because it's not just in this episode. It's character development throughout the course of the series. Like nothing ever changes and nobody ever really grows because it just resets to the next time. And like that's why we don't know if Julie and Ben are actually together or not together in like 90% of these episodes. But yeah, that's it.
Well, we need to talk more about the love life of Leanne, because Ace and Leanne are talking, and he talks about marriage, and then he talks about having kids, and he just won't let go of the darn kids and having babies and all that jazz. And so Leanne starts to turn the tables on him, which I like. This is exactly what should happen. This happens all the time around the holidays or whatnot with family. I'm sure of it. Like you turn the tables, and Leanne starts asking Ace about his love life.
And this is a good use of Don Knotts. I liked him in this episode. Also, shout out to Tennis Pink and Marilyn Powell. Yes, I like Don Knotts in this quite a bit, and I like that she flipped it on him because it's none of his business. So she was asking him a bunch of things that are not his business. Yeah, her business.
Right, like you have a girlfriend that's in your age, younger than you.
I would have gone worse than that. I've been like, so do you wear diapers yet? Do you have a feeding tube? Does somebody have to change you daily? Do you sleep in a litter box? Like those kind of questions. But she kept it classy.
Yeah, but Ace got very offended when she was like, "Well, do you stay over at your 39-year-old girlfriend's house? And what do you do when you stay over, huh?" And he was highly insulted by that. But I applaud Leanne. Bravo. Good job. Liz, did you have any comments on this this discussion piece?
No, I liked that she turned it back on him. I'm also glad he didn't actually answer any of those questions because I don't want to know.
I do. I want that episode. I want the Assassination Part 3. Just Don Knotts answering all the questions.
And then Don Knotts going on Hinge. That's what I want to see. I want to see him, or Grindr. Anyways. Sorry, folks. We said we were going to try to keep it PG. That's my bad on that one. My bad on that one. I'm sorry.
Justin, can you go ahead and throw up that hello? What is up, Corey?
Hey, Corey, what's going on, man?
Just crossed 500 subs. Everybody go check out Wilkie's Movies and Music on YouTube. Let's get him to 1,000.
So Judge Ellis shows up at Ben's home, and he wants Ben to defend him, and Ben's like not having it because he's still mad that he put him in contempt, but also, just he gives him the ickies, if you will. So the judge, he gives the details about the night in question. He claims that there's, this was an invitation. He went out with a woman. They went back to his house. Nothing really happened, et cetera, et cetera. She's claiming other weird things happened, such as the fact that the judge dressed up in a cowboy costume, and that there was some things maybe with tying people up. I know this is a different era, but is really dressing up like a superhero or a cowboy or whatever, is that really a big, like, kinky thing to do in 92? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that I'm just gonna say it, to me, that doesn't sound like it's that, like,
It's
kinky. Like,
because
it's a
you
little
live in the era of furries, John. Yes,
right.
back
You're
then
right.
it was.
You're right.
It's just
You're
a thing that I don't think people talked about. It wasn't as people weren't as open as we are here in these good old days.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you, but that thought went through my mind. Like, this isn't really kinky, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was this weird area where I was like, I know it's the time frame, and you're right. We have a different society where we're more open with sexuality and whatnot. But I did write down. I did write down. Is this kink shaming?
Of
So,
course, as Justin says, it's just a Thursday night at the Orlando House, so of course you
first of
wouldn't think
all,
it was a
how
big
dare
deal.
you, sir? How dare you, Justin? How dare you make that accusation? Come on now. Anyways, Judge Eller does have a shaky alibi, by the way. We just forgot to throw that out there. And then Leanne and Ben argue about Leanne taking the case because she's going to do it because she thinks he's innocent. Yeah, he might be a scumbag. Yeah, he might be a little bit twisted in that. But Conrad interviews a bunch of kids at the makeout place. This was not weird at all. I mean, hey guys, what are you doing? I don't know, Conrad. They're in a car and the windows are fogged up. What do you think they're doing, you dummy?
He gets in the back seat.
Yeah! I'm like, so no one locks their car doors either in Atlanta.
Say that.
Again, it's the safest place as long as Ace isn't around. But I gotta derail this. I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. I'm so sorry. I know I have a hard out at 8:30, but I got to say, did you guys know that people still use dial-up? There was a thing that came out that AOL is ending their dial-up service next month, and I didn't even know that was a thing. Now I want to go dial into AOL and see what it looks like.
Yeah, I saw your post about that, and I'm like, huh. I mean, I guess that would make sense because there are parts of the United States where internet is not that great. So, I mean, maybe that's the area that has dial-up. I don't know.
It just blew my mind that dial-up still existed, and not only dial-up, but AOL dial-up.
Yeah. I just want you to know, Jason, that the thought that went through my mind just a few moments ago was when you said Ace. How awesome would it have been if Ace was dispatched to the makeout place to get information from that? Hey, what are you guys doing? Well, Shiverly Timbers. This is what me and that 39-year-old do on Tuesday nights. Oh. Anyways, we go to the courtroom and we get a quick cameo of Daniel Roebuck.
And we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is the prosecutor. He has a young lady named Lydia on the stand, and she, again, talks about what went on that night with the judge and his cowboy and all that jazz. Ben interviews a gentleman named Eddie, and he puts him on the stand. And basically, Eddie says, "Oh yeah, I saw Judge Eller. I saw him." And then there are pics presented into evidence of Judge Eller in his Lone Ranger outfit. However, in a meeting with the judge, the pictures get thrown out because the judge is like, "Look, that's." I forget what legalese they use, but it was like, you can't use them in court. They were discovered after the fact. There's no picture of Lydia. It's just a picture of him. That picture could have came from anywhere, et cetera, et cetera. So the Judge Eller, is found not guilty. But Ben's not having it. He confronts Judge Eller. He says, you bribed that kid, didn't you? You were not there at the lake. And the judge is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Guess what? No one knows what you're talking about because how did you know he faked the alibi and he bribed him? Like, there's No explanation there.
He just knows. He's psychic, John. He's got the same powers that the girl from Poker Face has. He can tell when people are lying to him. It's Benjamin Matlock. You give him a hot dog, he turns into super lie detector guy.
Who, if I'm not mistaken, is part of the Justice Society, right? Anyways, Liz, did you have comments?
Not really. This
Okay.
whole thing seemed rushed. This was one of those things that could have been a whole episode on its own.
Yes, correct. This is the first storyline out of 3 that we're going to have that none of them connect. So then we go to a scene where Ben is watching TV and Michelle arrives, and basically they're watching a report on the Brodsky Commission, which is supposed to be handling the killing of Atlanta's mayor. The commission, excuse me, they start arguing about Jay and, you know, whether he was the sole gunman, so to speak, or whatnot. The judge, we find out Judge Eller is fooling around with Ava Brodsky. A PI was hired by Mr. Brodsky, Leo, and he finds him and gives him some photos of Judge Eller along with Ava fooling around. And so Leo storms out of the bar, and Leo goes back to his home. He gets his gun out of the drawer and he shoots his wife. Even though the PI is almost there and trying to stop him, telling him not to do it. But nonetheless, Mrs. Brodsky gunned down in her bed. Dan, you have a comment? Go ahead, if you don't mind, Justin, and bring that up, please.
Rest in peace, Mrs. Brodsky.
I'm convinced that Ralph Furley could have been less under a different name.
Could have been.
Could have been. Okay, this whole I'm going to go home, get my gun, and shoot my wife storyline also doesn't really jive for me. Like, it doesn't connect. Like, I understand that you're trying to make this a more, like, as I wrote down, twisty and turny, you know, kind of all these surprises popping out at you. But this, like, I don't understand why they had this in here. Could you got any thoughts, you two, Liz or Jason?
I'm just surprised they did an autopsy. Like this guy obviously really wanted his wife dead. He poisoned and then shot her. But spoiler alert, sorry everybody. But like, I'm surprised they would do an autopsy to find out that it wasn't the guns, because the guns seem obvious and the other just seems like a waste of time.
Liz, do you have any thoughts?
I just want to know why we always jump to murder. Like, that's people first. Like, divorce, I get it, is more expensive, but it's probably easier.
Good point. I mean, it did seem overkill to me too. Like, why not have a scene where they go home and they argue and fight and somebody leaves, and then you know, like, you could build on that. But again, that would mean that you would have to have this storyline as a separate episode as well. And you could build to where they end up getting murderous. But I don't know.
No, I got to go straight for murder. There's no conversation to be had.
I mean, it does make sense later when we find out what actually happened.
Right. But... Well, Ace returns Ben's weed whacker. And then Leanne tells Ben about what happened between her and Ace, because as soon as she starts coming into the kitchen, Ace hits the back door. He's like, I'm out of here. Still probably embarrassed over the conversation they had.
She's going to ask me more personal questions. I gotta go. She doesn't need to know my blood type.
So Ben gets a call regarding Ava's killing. So at the police headquarters, Ben is interviewing Leo, and Leo's off the hook. Why? Because his wife was already dead before he shot her. I somehow don't think that you're off the hook, like, free and clear, even if that was the case.
He still tried to kill her.
You're right.
Even if you were late, like, I don't think being tardy is going to stop something from happening.
I assume that if you pull a gun and the gun jams and the projectile's not fired, you're still in trouble for pulling a gun on someone. All right, let's hear what Dan...
If he's that quick to shoot his wife, then who knows what else he's going to do to somebody else in the future. Like, no, you can go, man. You didn't do it. You're bad. She was already poisoned. You couldn't have done anything. Just go home and take a Valium and relax.
Well, they reveal that there's a
Got
glass. with
lucky she died before you can kill her. You're free and clear.
That's basically what Matlock tells him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you'll get hit with maybe abuse.
You
of a
lucked
corpse.
out.
Abuse of a corpse. Isn't that still a felony? I don't know if I want that on my record. Anyways, there's a glass with the Judge Eller's fingerprints all over it, so they feel like they have their man. So we go back to Ben's house, and he's cooking meatballs and spaghetti, and of course, Leanne adds more oregano to it. The judge shows up again. Judge Eller shows up again, and he begs for Ben's help. Please, 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 please. In fact, Leanne advocates for taking the judge's case. She's like, I'm going to take it. All right, I'm going to take it. You got to trust me on this. It's okay. And all of this interaction between Ben and Leanne is them trying to reconnect, so to speak. But let's talk about it right now. I'm not buying it. There's just something that, to me, and I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something in the way in which the scenes are written that I'm not buying this, dad and daughter getting back together scenario. What say you two?
I didn't really not buy it.
Liz, any thoughts?
I didn't necessarily not buy it. I watched this episode a while ago, and I like Leanne a little bit better this time through, but I have a hard time getting past. She's got this like massive chip on her shoulder about everything, and I have a hard time getting past that.
Well, maybe her husband tried to kill her like this guy.
Maybe.
No, she has the massive chip on her shoulder because it's the shoulder pads are in her suit jacket. She is
nope.
rocking some.
I do think that the scenes would have played out better had it been, Linda Pearl returning as that character. But I still think.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because there's history there. We've seen that character before.
Okay. Valid point. I'll give you that.
But I still think that they did a good job together.
Well, we go back to the courtroom where Ben is still kind of mad at Leanne for taking the Judge Eller case. And, despite the fact of that, we go into the courtroom and we see Julie as the prosecutor. And, we go into the courtroom and that Julie is the prosecutor. And then Julie and Leanne have a scene that follows where they're reviewing some evidence. And basically, some of that evidence and theories are that Ava sent the photos due to an argument to try to ruin Eller. The photos were placed in a mailbox. Anyone could have done that. A witness saw Eller at Ava's home. Eller admits to being at Ava's home. So there's kind of like all kinds of evidence that's there. So Leanne ends up following in the footsteps of her dad. And I know many of you might say, did she eat a hot dog? No. Was she cheap on buying something? No. She gets a little testy herself. In fact, she lays down the law to the judge. And the judge, Eller, shows some footage of the mayor's assassination. And basically the theory comes up that someone wants the judge off the commission, and there's this guy that bumped into Jay, and basically, why did that happen? Because it looked like it was done on purpose. And so we go to Commissioner Young. I believe he's the police commissioner Young. He is talking to some random thug about a solution to the problem. And that rando thug breaks into Ben's home as Ben and Leanne are arguing about what we've all argued about. I mean, who had the pig on their television show? Was it the Beverly Hillbillies? Was it Green Acres? I mean, it's an argument I know all three of us have had, probably over Thanksgiving dinner, correct?
I mean, mine's usually Happy Days or Green Acres, but I get it.
Happy Days was the shark. Green Acres was the pig.
There you go. So my point is, too, that I wrote down, nobody bothers to turn on another light. Like, I don't know about you two. When I walk in, I already have one light on a timer. I turn the other lamp on so I have light. And like, no, we won't do that. We'll just let a prowler sneak around in the background.
You know what, John? Every time I walk into a room, I turn my light on. Even if my power's out, I still try to turn the light switch. So I get it.
Yeah. Well, the thug manages to escape, and then he gets into the van and listens to Ben and Leanne talk about the evidence and the court case and that. So we go to police headquarters where Leanne interviews Jay, and they run down the evidence. And all I can say is Jay is very, very angry. Leanne then chats with Bob Brooks, wants the files for the mayor's murder and Dave, who was the other gentleman killed in the attack. And Leanne finds a butterfly necklace in his stuff. So Leanne then decides she's going to stop by Dave's place. And Dave's roommate lets her in. And they go through his stuff. And they find his secret stash of adult movies. Okay, one thing I didn't think that we would see in Matlock is this topic. I'll be frank and be honest. I mean, yes, we've had strippers. Yes, we've had drug-addicted rock and roll people. We've had a lot, but we haven't had adult films. Jason, do you have a comment?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. All right. So, the butterfly necklace is on the cover of one of the models of the adult film, right? And so, Leanne, Conrad, and Ben discuss the need to find that young lady that's on the cover of the adult film, all right? But don't worry, the people in the van are listening. They're getting all this because they are. I don't know why. So Conrad goes over to Carrie's place. Carrie is the young lady that's on the cover of that VHS box. And everything is like ready to go. Like, for an example, there's a pot of tea that's just steaming, and then there's no clothes in the closet, and there's a curling iron that's very hot. It seems that Carrie left in a rush, and she's not coming back home. So Leanne questions Conrad about what he found, and here I thought for a moment we were going to have a conflict between the two of them because of the way they were interacting, and I'm like, oh, this is something I didn't see coming, but alas, it was just, again, another throwaway thing that this episode seems to have a lot of. So we then have another discussion where Ben wants Leanne to drop the case because it's too dangerous. You're getting involved in adult filmmaking, and that brings thugs and gangsters and all kinds of wretched people. And you know, Leanne and Ben continue to try to hammer out their daddy-daughter issues that they're having. And I just, again, wrote down, I believe this whole storyline should have been cut out because they're just half-heartedly doing it. What say you two?
I love that Ben like immediately like pornography equals gangsters in his mind.
Yeah, right. And I think they had another, like, one of those other comments that I'm like, I think we're shaming these people for
There's
again.
a lot of shame in this episode.
There is. If this was an episode of Sesame Street, first of all, it'd be the weirdest Sesame Street ever. But secondly,
And the word of the day would be shame.
the word of the day would be shame. Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
Very much so. But wait, folks, it's going to get worse in these next couple of scenes. Conrad's undercover. Now, I love how, like, no one, especially, like, I think this, here's how I describe this. Like, I think Conrad can get away with going undercover and be like, yeah, I did a bank job. I did a bank job with Fat Frankie. Yeah, like, I think he can get away with that. This seems like it's a more sleazy operation, and you would think a sleazier operation would be like, hey, hold on, we're not going to hire you right away. How about a name and an address and some references, please? Because, right? I mean, it seems like it's a serious, like, felony that you're committing here. We'll get into why in a moment. But Jason, you're shaking your head. I mean, is it just so preposterous? They're like, hey, I worked on Big Buddy Balzac's films. Literally, that is the title they gave it in the script. I'm not making that up. Big Buddy Balzac. I'm like, what? Jason?
There's no thoughts. I like the name, though.
Liz?
I mean, they hired him to be like a carpenter or something, but yeah, you just let anybody walk onto your set set.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's equally preposterous than other, but I think that, again, because this is like going to be some really serious stuff here, that you would think that they would be a little bit more, compromising about that. In the courtroom, Michelle and Ben chat about the situation between Ben and Leanne. And then Leanne happens to be coming down the hall, and there's a very awkward conversation between the two of them, including this question: how about those 76ers? Okay, thanks. The NBA thanks you for the cheap plug, I guess. I mean, that was very random.
I mean,
So
you
then we
gotta
go.
get your NBA plugs in when you can.
I mean, hey.
I
Do you
mean, this
think
show
Alan-
is going to be running on TNT in the coming future, and the TNT played a lot of NBA in the 90s.
Do you think Allen Iverson was a big fan of Matlock?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. He probably wasn't, but Dr. J was for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. So we go back, oh God, to the scene of the adult film. Conrad's snooping around the set. He's talking to the hairdresser, who kind of talks about Carrie leaving the country. And, Dave found out about her career, and he's mad about it. And I believe the director uses the phrase, and I swear to God, quote, he says, "Bring out the whips."
That's a normal thing to say.
Is it though? Like, I'm just like, okay. I guess we're just trying to be as preposterous as we can be with this storyline. I guess I don't know.
I mean, they went out with a bang. It's the finale. It feels like a finale.
Do you think NBC executives, like, they're screening this going, "Oh, thank God we got rid of this show. Thank God. Look at how it's jumping the shark."
Matlock's gone dirty. Andy Griffith has lost his mind.
He plumb lost his mind.
I literally wrote down, thank God we don't get a scene with Matlock in the porn studio, because
Oh my God, I wish we had.
Good God, no. No. Oh, no.
You missed out,
No,
Hollywood.
no.
You missed out.
The director has nothing to shoot because people are not there. Like, somebody's homesick, something else. And then I rewound this part of this scene 5 times to hear what I swore my ears deceived me. But the director says, and I quote, "Where are the kids?" Not on the set. You shouldn't be anywhere near a set of an adult film, dude. So why are you asking about where they are? 5 times. I was like, I heard that wrong. Like, he didn't say that. He said, "Where are the cards?" That's what he said, right? No. Where are the kids? I don't know what more to say. Please
well,
tell
they
me.
won't be there till 3:00 because that's when school gets out.
I need to rewatch this episode. There are certain things that I have missed, and I'm kind of sad that I did. I need to go back, at least watch the second half again.
Yeah, I thought that was a mistake at first too, and then it's not.
I know. Boy, and I'm proud of myself because I had a lot of expletives written in that note. So, yeah. And then we go to the fact that Conrad almost gets roped into a scene. "Hey, you, what are you doing? Come here. Take your shirt off." What? Oh, well. Matt Greenwood is in charge of this adult film production. Now, look, Matt Greenwood sounds like a guy that's going to sell you a brand new Chevrolet. Doesn't sound like a guy that makes adult films. So I thought that they could have done something better. I mean, if you're going to go with the Buddy Balzac reference, this guy should have a better name. That's all I'm saying. Better than Dirty Wood. Maybe, Justin, maybe. Dirty Wood, Matt Dirty Wood, that's not bad. I'll go with that. And by the way, to add another little weirdness twist to this, the guys in the van, they're listening to all of this too. Which, why not?
Why not? Why would you not listen to this? You might be able to trade some information if you get caught. Like, you would not believe what's happening on this film set. the director actually said, grab the kids. Like, that's where you need to be, not worrying about what we're doing in this van.
Yeah. Oh my. That farm. Hilarious, Liz. That farm was whoa. All right. Okay, so we go back to the courtroom, thankfully. Thank God. And Bob Brooks is on the stand. He tells the court about the cyanide evidence, right? Like there's evidence found, cyanide was found in Eller's home and it was on the glass, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then Conrad decides, for some reason, thank God this scene didn't go any further, to take Leanne to the adult film set. I mean, I guess Andy Griffith was the executive producer of this episode. I think he was like, let's go out with a bang, people. Everything that he shot down probably in production meetings before, he was like, let's do it. Let's just cram it in here. Whatever wacky ideas you have. Well, don't worry. Don't worry, folks. Leanne never saw the inside of that set because Matt is gunned down in the parking lot or in the pass through or the street or the alley or whatever. And then we go to a scene that is inexplicable because Conrad, excuse me, Conrad is at Ben's house and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. Hey, neighbor's dog's digging in your flowers. And then he goes out there and Leanne and Conrad go, hey, shh, can't talk in your house. The house is bugged. How do you know that?
Because they know.
They explain that though.
Did they? Did I miss that?
Yeah, because every time they talk about somebody, like the girl in the porno who disappears, maybe she's dead, I don't know. Every time they talk about somebody and then they go there, that person ends up dead or gone.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I did forget about that. I forgot about that. Yes, that's okay. Yep, you're absolutely correct on that. That's
Sorry,
probably it.
John.
Look, my mind is still like blown by all of what we've covered in this episode. But anyways, Brooks and Leanne, they decide to talk to the police chief Young, and he has answers for every one of their questions, right? Like, oh, I loved his alibi because it was like 17 seconds long. It was, oh, I went here and went there and went there. I'm like, that's not rehearsed. Not rehearsed at all. So we go back to the courtroom, and there is the witness from the neighborhood who said that they saw Judge Eller in the neighborhood. And then he says that he saw Judge Eller go inside Ava's house. And that same witness says that a few minutes later, after Eller had left, Mr. Young showed up, Police Chief Young. And so then Chief Young is called to the stand. And I did enjoy how the judge was like, hey, whose murders are we solving here? Good question. Very good question. All of them. And by the way, this guy, I think his name was Judge Alden. Yes, Judge Alden. He calls Leanne a young lady. And that comment, that angers Leanne. We've seen a little bit of that temper before, but now it's opened up. It's a giant can of whoop butt that has been opened up. And despite the fact that they were trying to, or Leanne was trying to kind of make the connection of the fact that the Matt Greenwood character apparently was missing $250,000, and yet there's a property that cost $250,000 somewhere in South Carolina or North Carolina or whatever that the judge just happened to, or excuse me, the police chief just happened to own, that there was something hinky going on there. But Judge Alden argues with Leanne and her massive shoulder pads and gets her thrown in the clink for contempt of court. Again, hopefully somebody would bail Leanne out. Not so much. We get another Ben and Leanne talk while Ben is visiting Leanne in jail. And it's here where Leanne reveals that her husband has left her for a younger woman. All right, so let's stop for a moment. Any comments, ideas, questions, or whatnot from what we've just covered here in these last few moments?
I did notice that Andy Griffith did let Bryn Thayer really shine in this episode more so than him.
Yes.
She took the lead, especially in the second half. I mean, granted, he comes in and saves the day at the end, but for most of this episode, she is the lead.
And I agree with that. I think that is something that is remarkable about this episode. All right, we go to the courtroom where Ben takes over for the Eller case. Police Chief Young is called back to the stand, and Young said that he did stop by Ava's house to see Leo, but he wasn't there and he left. And he went back to his office and he started working. Ben goes, "That's not possible. You didn't go back to your office because here I have a receipt from a carpet cleaning company who was around 8:30 at your office cleaning the carpets." And so police Chief Young says, okay, you know what? I was hanging out with a guy named Judd Taylor. Now, Judd Taylor is an ex-con, and but he knows I was hanging out with him all night long. All right. So Ben and Judge Eller go back to check out Eller's home, and the Judge Eller, he talks about how he keeps his house locked up. So Jason, your theory about Atlanta being so safe, not so strong now, is it?
No, he's a judge. He's got people coming for him.
Well, Ben sees a clue. And so we go back to the courtroom where Leo is on the stand. And we recap Leo and his killing of Ava. And here's my question. I always thought from my watching of television movies and whatnot, I thought cyanide took forever to impact you. Like, I didn't think you took cyanide because I thought it was like a long game. It's not a short game. Unless you were like James Bond and you had the tooth of cyanide. Am I right or wrong?
I like how John's like, in my history of watching fictional movies and television shows, it seems like it takes a long time to work.
No, I think cyanide is pretty quick, especially in large doses. Arsenic can take a long time if you're overdosing.
That's it.
It's untraceable. In my Googling for writing murder mysteries, by the way, not because I'm going around killing people.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. It was arsenic that I had. I had those confused. Okay. So cyanide can kill you right away.
We're actually losing his alibi tonight.
We are. Absolutely.
Exactly. I was on a podcast. It was live. I was here.
There's not a gentleman looking to break into my windows and collect information for an older gentleman that's a lawyer. No, there's none of that. The house cleaner says for 3 months that Leo had lived in the guest room. So this kind of adds to the fact that your marriage is kind of going kaput. And there is the videotape of the mayor's killing. And we find out that Ava is actually there. She was off in the background. And so the theory is that Ava knew Leo was involved in the assassination. So this is where excuse me, my notes are not very clear. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Ben had made calls to Hilton Head and found out about the money transactions going on between Matt Greenwood and Chief Young. And basically, Matt was paying Leo and Young money to keep quiet on the adult film stuff because there may have been some children used, as they throw that out there, which I thought that was kind of like, that should have maybe been thrown out earlier, but nonetheless. So that's why there was the real estate action going on. And so Ava has keys to the Judge Eller's place. And what do you know? It's found out that the key has a couple of prints on it. And the prints are from Leo. So Leo went back to his home, unlocked the door, went in, got a glass, got his wife to have a drink, took the cyanide, and then locked back up, put everything back, and there you go. So Leanne returns to the courtroom at the end. Judge Eller is found not guilty, and Ben wants Judge Eller to pay $150,000 and to stop being a judge. And everyone, including maybe even the three of us, we are all invited back to Ben's house for a meal cooked by Leanne Matlock. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A lengthier edition of the Assassination. But any comments, or should we just go right on into our closing statements?
We should just go right into our closing statements.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our closing statements.
This is the part of the podcast where I announce to the world that John is leaving the show to become a porn star. As you can tell by a lot of his double entendres throughout this episode, John has a long, long career ahead of him, and I cannot wait to jump into this episode. Liz, what did you think?
I hate your jokes.
Did you skip the gavel system?
No, we do have. I think Jason was too busy trying to make funny ha-has at my expense. Anyways,
we rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means that we didn't really like it. 5 gavels means we absolutely loved it. Negative 30 gavels means that John failed at his career as an adult film star.
All right. I'm going to go 3 gavels, 1 for every individual episode of plot that we had crammed into 1. I like that it's a full cast episode. I don't like that they're all completely underutilized. It's kind of a mess.
Okay, I gave it 2.5 gavels because I didn't like the shaming. I didn't like the 3 storylines that really aren't connected, but they try to make them connect. I did like that all the characters were in the episode, and I agree with you, Liz. They could have been better utilized, a few of them. I'll give respect to the actor who played Eller, because he was a pretty good scumbag. But yeah, overall, this was a hot mess of an episode. So, Jason,
I'm gonna give it 3. I didn't. It does suck that this is Michelle's final episode and there's like no real send off, but that's just the nature of the beast with this show.
I would be so mad if I was Nancy Stafford and that was my final. Her last line is like, "We could go out to dinner" or something.
But I don't know, because I agree with what you said, Liz, a couple of episodes ago when we did the Outcast, which is the one about where Ben gets stuck in the podunk town with the Hispanic kid that was murdered. Like, I feel like that was probably the end episode rather than this one, because this one, I mean, if they put this on last as the final episode of season 6, they were on drugs or something, because it's ridiculously awful.
No, I agree. I still think The Outcast was meant to be the end. And then when they switched networks, this is like the transition to introducing Leanne and sending off the rest of the cast.
Yeah. So, Jason, you said you gave it 3.
Yeah, I give it 3.
Okay. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, sorry that we went a little bit longer. Sorry that it was very difficult to stay on track sometimes, as this was an episode, all right. This might go down as one of the craziest ones that we've reviewed and discussed. But Liz, let's talk about Dark Sea Yarn, if you will.
Sure. I am winding down a little bit, going on maternity leave at the end of the year. So my big event is the Holidays Are Murder Knit-Along, which you can find more information about on my website. It's going to start November 1st and run through the end of the year. There's a couple of patterns you can choose from. There are a couple of kits you can choose from. I'm going to do a series of newsletters where I deep dive the mystery as a genre, because I do have 2 English degrees that I don't use, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit more like writing lately. So you can also sign up for that if you just want the newsletters and you don't want to do the knit along. You can do that too. That is all on my website, darkseayarn.com, under the page titled Red Herring.
Okay, Jason, what's going on with the 3 Geeks podcast?
We are doing everything. We are live Saturdays at 7 p.m. Next Saturday, I will be live with Jamie doing Big Binge Watch Lists, and we are just doing everything.
Are you sure you're doing everything?
I'm doing so many things, John. I am releasing like so many shorts a day. It's exhausting.
I know.
It is exhausting in the best way possible.
You flood my messenger with all kinds of shorts, which you do a fabulous job doing. So keep up the good
I
work.
appreciate it. I appreciate
You're
it. And
welcome.
Justin, I'm sure, is tired of me saying, please send me something so I can take a break. But Scott has done a really good job at sending me stuff just randomly. He'll send me a review, and I'll be like, thank God for Scott, because you just need a break every once in a while.
Cool.
It's hard with full-time jobs. I get it. We all have them.
Yeah.
So.
As for the PVD cast, it's my own personal podcasting project. It is available at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. Actually, going to also hype up that it's available through the Facebook page at PVDcast on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And this week we have, of course, the not WrestleMania, the SummerSlam review show where one half of the pro wrestling pundits, DJ Joey Blaze, joins me to dissect and talk about what went on last weekend for the big summer spectacular that the WWE puts on called SummerSlam. So check that out. Got another cool episode coming up in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to talk about. I can't let it out of the bag just yet, but it's going to be a good one. In fact, we're almost to 500 episodes. I can't believe I've done 500 episodes, but coming up quick on that. So going to try to do something spectacular for that episode. But there you go, pvdcast.com. As you can see, you can follow me on social medias at pvdmvp or at pvdcast. I can talk. And that's it. All right. So Liz, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome.
Matlock
Jason?
After Dark coming in 3 years.
All right, well, Jason, let's get on out of here. As they say in court,
Nothing further.